그러면 안 비켜요.
I say these are the arms. This is the head. And this is the feet. Is the head.
당연하지.
Have fun.
And I think once we get out there, you'll see how much it is.
Have fun.
Woo!
How do they know we're going on the ride?
우리가 날아가면 걸어가서 잡아야 돼.
안 내려준다는 것 같은데?
아 그러니까 우리가 걸어가야 된다고 저까지.
I mean, if we want to, we can come back up. It's kind of like vacation.
다시 걸어가가지고 추워요.
Well, there's other vacation-y stuff.
아 좋다. 그치. 야 시카고 빅버스보다 좋은 것 같다.
Grand Haven's right near there. That's why I did that.
Wait, where's that? Oh, a swing!
모르겠네.
이거 얼굴을 포기했네. 아 근데 이거 위험하다. 옆에 차 지나가는 거.
귀엽죠? 저 무서움보다 더워.
일로 들어가나?
어.
일로 들어갔대.
Dad, Sam.
Oh my gosh, not sand.
Uh-oh.
Bet you we're gonna see it. All right, out here in front of us is Termite Bridge. That's how we get up onto the dunes. Now, termites like to eat wood, and you can see the bridge here is actually made out of wood. So there is a little bit of an issue. In order to get across the bridge, what we have to do, as I drive up on top of it, just take a deep breath in, because that'll make the car feel lighter. When we get to the other side, you can let that breath out. Breathe all you want to after that, and we'll be on our way.
너무 무거우면 못 지나간대.
Ready, guys? Breath.
아 되게 멋있게 나온다. Hello.
It is kind of bouncy.
무섭다.
날라갈 것
돌아오는
같아.
길인가 봐. 반대로.
I'll be over a hill with
뭐야 부산이 아니야 이거?
아 맞네 부산에다 핀 거네.
완전 시원하다 그치? 옛날에도 이랬나? 이거 맞나?
옛날에 이랬어.
바람이 이렇게 날려가지고.
What do you think, guys? We're gonna go fly on the water and then fly across the lake. Very
That's just my sheer drive.
Are we getting out here?
이거 봐.
Patience, child.
이거 봐. Uh-oh. Watch out. Somebody fell off.
This is the last kid who asked too many questions. I'm teasing you. Can stay in the car. you look around us here, you can see there's a lot of sand dunes. There's about 1,800 acres of dunes. It's actually all state of Michigan land, so in Backwoods we don't own any of it. We actually lease this southern portion right here, which is right around 600 acres. So that's why we're the only vehicles you'll see driving on it. People are allowed to walk up here, that's fine. We just ask, especially during the day here, if you're walking, that you stay out of our trail. The second section's a little further north of us. It's called the pedestrian area. No vehicles allowed on that. That's just for people to walk on. And then that third section's way down at the north end. It's called the ORV, or the off-road vehicle section. So that's actually where people can take their own cars. So if you get a little bit closer to that, you'll see there's a lot of vehicles up there today. Now around us right here, you can see we do have some of this grass. This is called marram grass. It was planted by the Boy Scouts back in the 1950s to keep the dunes from moving. Now the result from that's all along the shoreline here where you see all those trees. That's because of the grass. So those dunes over there are no longer moving. We call those dunes dead dunes. Right here you see it's an open patch of sand, so the wind will move this dune around quite a bit. So this one right here is called a live dune. Now as we pull up on top of our next hill, when we get up there, if you look to the right, you'll get a nice view of Silver Lake, and then we'll get a little bit closer to Lake Michigan, which you can see along the shoreline to your left.
Oh yeah.
갈매기다 저기. 지리고요. 아 맞네.
민성아 어때?
차 온다.
Trailblazer. I didn't see a zip for a minute.
Drone operated.
How long have you been doing this, Michael?
About 6 years.
모르겠어.
I bet you've seen a lot of change, huh?
Oh yeah.
What was that dune grass called again?
Marram grass. Marram. M-A-R-A-M. Marram.
Marram grass.
Go.
You should take a break now.
저 풀 이름이
Take a nap, are you?
No.
Depends on how long it takes you to talk about stuff.
I'm not going to take a nap.
All right. Over here to your right, you can see a little puddle of water. You're going to see a lot of standing water on the sand dunes this year. The reason for that, Lake Michigan is about a foot higher than it's normally at.
Wow.
Now, since the lake level is so high, we actually have water coming from underneath our sand dunes and pooling in these low areas. Now, because there's a lot of water on the dunes, we've had to change up our trail quite a bit. We used to go down right on the beach, right on the lake shore, and stop down there. This year, however, we're not doing that because the water's so high, it's totally washed away our beach. So we've had to change our trail a lot. And you guys will see that as you go out to the beach anywhere along Lake Michigan, along the shoreline, it's going to be a lot smaller, a lot narrower than you're used to. It's just because the water level is up this year. Now here in front of us, you can see we do have some trees. That's kind of what the dunes used to look like back in the 1800s. So back then, this entire area actually was a forest filled with pine trees. So we had a lot of red pine up here, a lot of white pine. At that time, it was owned by Charles Mears, and he made a lot of money off this area right around 1870. So that was right after the Great Chicago Fire. So he came through here with some loggers. They cut down the trees that were up here. They took all that wood right out to Lake Michigan, and they floated it down the lake to Chicago. So that's how Chicago got a lot of the wood they needed to rebuild. That's what gave us these sand dunes here. Now all around us, you're going to see a lot of these stumps. These used to be those trees, so they've been up here for quite a while. As they sit up here in the dunes, they get blasted by the sand. That's why you see they're very smooth, very pointy. They also get bleached in the sun. That's why they're like a light gray color. Now, if you work at Macwoods long enough, you get a good opportunity to get out here and stare at the stumps, and they do actually start to come to life. So if you look at the stump up here to your left, you see a knot right in the center of it. If you look at it closely, you can see one of two things. You can see a cyclops right here, or you can see a minion, depending on how old you are. As we keep moving forward, next stump, same side here, has a hole inside of it. That kind of looks like the hand of Michigan, or it looks like a cat with its ears up top and a tail where the thumb is. It's all right there in that stuff. And then our last one's over here to the right. So right now it looks like the Statue of Liberty. But if you close your left eye and look at it again, you'll see it also kind of looks like a tree.
Did you see that tree?
미니언 몰라? 미니언이 만화 영화에 나오는
알잖아, 너. 가방
Wasn't much of a map.
그런가 봐, 그치? 저기 올라가는 거? 우리 진짜 많네. Wow, there is a lot of
Think so, huh? What would you do if I told you we ran out of gas right here? Nothing. Okay, you just sit there and smile. All right, good talk. All right, out here you can see Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan's around 300 feet deep on average.
West Vesuvius Rail.
If you travel up north to Manistee, up there it
I'm
gets
out of Lake Michigan.
to its deepest point up by Manistee, around 900 feet deep. So we'll get a lot deeper as we start to go north. Now right here we're at a point called the Narrows of Lake Michigan. So from here straight across to Sheboygan, Wisconsin is actually the narrowest that the lake will get. It's right around 57 miles straight across here. Now I said we're not going down to the water today. If you want to do that, the best spot to get out to the beach is like a mile down the beach south of us here. What'd you drop, my man?
Shoes.
Ah, dropped your shoes. We weren't even moving any longer. That doesn't bode well. Yeah, if you want to get out to the lake, check out our lighthouse down there. They have the most beach. That lighthouse is actually open every day 10 to 5 if you want to walk to the top of it. So we're going to keep moving here. We'll take a right, head back up to the dunes. At our next stop, you'll get a nice view of that ORV section.
움직일 때 좀 물었다.
야, 이제는 보이네. 여기가 우리 걸었던 데잖아. 그런 거 같아.
맞네. 사람 많네.
저기 건너.
Cereal.
저기.
Mom, are we gonna walk out?
Why
Definitely not.
If you want to walk here, you can, but you're going to be the only one we're going to leave you.
Do you think you can find your way back?
All right. Over there, you can see that's the ORV section, the off-road vehicle section, where you can take your own cars. This is one of those wildlife areas where the wild people enjoy life, so that's a lot of fun. You see a lot of them parked back there. You can drive really wherever you want to. There's only like one rule over there. It's to go up the north end of the dune and then come down the south side of the dune. So that will stop you from meeting other vehicles at the top of the hill. And after that, it's really just kind of go wherever you want to. So you'll see people up there all day today and tomorrow and all throughout the weekend.
Good weather, huh?
Perfect weather for it. Now this is also where we'll see a lot of our animals walking around right here. We do have lots of deer, turkeys, we do have some fox and coyotes as well. And then during the middle of the week we got a couple of camels out here, so you never know what you see on the Over here to your right you can see a couple of poplar trees. These are cool, they have a systemic root system. So as the sand piles in on top of them, they actually grow more roots right off their tree, and that's how they survive. Now all these trees throughout here don't look very tall, but they're actually over 20 feet tall. We are just seeing the top of them, so most of these trees here are actually buried in the dune. Wow! Alright, we're going to keep moving here. We'll head up to Razorbacks. It's going to get a little bit windier along the way, so if you guys haven't brushed your teeth, just smile into the wind and the sand will clean your teeth for you.
Might wash your face too.
Should you go out on the orange?
On my days off,
I like that.
Every once in a while we'll get some snakes. They like to jump out of the tree.
Coyotes, and they're walking on 2 feet.
Yeah, those are those wild coyotes.
저기 내려서 좀 노나 보다.
So we've got some snakes that'll fall out of the trees right onto the windshield. You know what they're called? Windshield vipers.
Highly poisonous.
Alright, you can see Silver Lake out here. Silver Lake is actually a lot shallower than Lake Michigan. This lake is only around maybe 12 or 13 feet deep on average. And the deepest though gets right around 22 or 23 feet deep. So the reason it is so shallow, these sand dunes here are actually moving into the lake about 2 to 3 inches every year. So they are slowly kind of filling it in. Now what that does is it makes a drop off. So all along the shoreline here you can go from water to be on your waist, take a big step, you'll be in about 8 feet of water. It does go almost straight down. Now if you look at the climate dune, that tall one way over there with the people on it, check that one out. There's actually a parking lot on the other side where you can park your car and you can run up to the top of the hill and burn a lot of your energy. Now the interesting thing about that sand dune, underneath it right now, there's actually 4 houses that are buried over there.
Oh.
So the first house was buried down there in the 80s, and then this last house was actually buried this past fall. So it's been going on for quite a while. The sand dunes here are protected, so down there they're not allowed to remove sand from the dune. So what they're doing is they're actually pushing that sand dune backwards to keep it away from their house. So if you guys are looking to get into this flat part of the hill where you can get out, and as you really want it, you can wander all over the sand dune. If you'd like for me to take a picture of your group or your family, I'm more than happy to. You just gotta ask if you want to take a picture of me. That's even better.
I do want to. I want to.
잘생긴 남자 좋아.
Alright, feel free to get out here, walk around. If you're going down the hill, you've got to come.
와우.
오, 장난 아닌데?
How's it going? Good. Just hanging out? If one of these fall off, will you show them the way back?
Well, if there's a hole over here we've been burying people in.
Okay. You can bury them there too. It's totally your choice.
It's taking up a lot of room.
All we need to eat is sandwiches.
We've been looking for the sand dunes for about
No, we
30
don't
years
down.
and haven't seen them.
Well, if you go down there about halfway, there's a sinkhole.
Ah.
Go in there.
Alright. Here we go, folks.
이성 앞에 보여?
꽉 잡아라.
꽉 잡아, 꽉 잡아, 앞에 꽉 잡아.
벌써 40판다. 그런가 봐. 맞네.
진짜 시간 빨리 가네. 벌써 5시다 근데 진짜.
Logging that stuff back in the 1800s, just cleared it out. If you look right here, we've got a couple inches of soil and then all just sand.
너무
Everywhere.
뿔이 다 보인다.
우와, bee.
So cool.
Oh, more bees. I bet they're like bees. Oh, guess when's
You could probably go in there and get some honey if you want.
No thanks.
She's sweet enough.
Handful.
All right, the last thing I want to tell you about happens up here on the dunes during a thunderstorm. Bless you. So every once in a while during that storm, we will have some lightning hit the sand, and that lightning is actually so hot that it fuses the sand together and makes this gray piece of glass. We call that fulgurite. We do have some of this fulgurite in our gift shop. If you want to see it, right in the front is a large display case filled with different sizes and shapes of it. So that's definitely pretty interesting to see. Usually you find fulgurite towards the tops of the hills as the wind blows the dry sand away. You'll see it peeking out of the top there. But as you guys saw, there's a lot of sand dunes up here. So you do have to be a little bit on the lucky side if you're going to find any of that fulgurite. Now from here, we're going to head back across the bridge and we'll make our way back to Mac Woods.
Hold your breath. 조금 좀 그래도.
If you want to go to that lighthouse, follow this road here about 1.5 miles.
Lighthouse
See it down there on your right hand side.
절로 가면 뭐가 나와요?
등대. 일로 가면 등대가 나온대.
왜? 엄마, 아직도 아빠 볼래?
아 얘네 안 가고 가려면 저로 가라는 거야.
They have